So for this particular one, it is rather easy, but it turns out super cute with all the extra accents on it. And we're going to start with a 12 by 12 because everything actually fits on that mat. So a 12 by 12, and you can see I still have my 1-inch grid. And when I look at the directions, I notice that there's a little bit difference in how this one is done. And the biggest difference is that it had a pattern. So when I started with this particular pillow, I had to start in drawn paint. And the reason I had to start in drawn paint is that I needed to create this heart pattern. So the first part of this video will be drawn paint, and I'm going to try and see if I can do this. I'm going to click on drawn paint, which is on my toolbar here. It takes me into drawn paint, and I'm going to go to insert, and I need to find it. It's probably hiding here under right there. There it is. It's under something that's floating on my side of the screen. So insert file. And what I actually did is I took a picture of the pattern since my particular printer slash scanner's not working. So I thought, well, I should be able to do this, and it actually worked. So here I am in Paint. I'm going to click off of it, and then I'm going to box select around it as close as I can without cutting anything off. Just like that. And then I am going to drag it from here to here. Now that is the 6-inch box that I use for designing the Wander Lane blocks. And I have to measure this heart and see how it works, or how big it is, I'm sorry. So it is 5 inches wide and probably 5 inches tall too. Yes, we're going to make it 5 by 5. So if that's the case, then these are 1-inch blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, I have an 8-inch block. Whoops. So let's reduce this so that it fits in 5 across and 5 down. So that's 5 right there, 1 past center, and then that's 5 right there. See how I did that? So if this is an 8-inch square that I must have put in before, so let's take a look at view and see if I did. Yep. See, I put it in a 200 by 200 hoop. So when I resized the canvas for something else, it actually was in 200 by 200. So let me see if I can do this here with that picture on. So it's 152 for 6 by 6. And we're going to keep the original scale. All right, so now I'm going to go back to paint. I'm going to drag this in, and I'm going to line this curve of the heart right up here in this corner. Now, it's not going to matter if it's a tad bit off, but I'm going to try and make it look accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go 5 here, and then I'm going to go 5 there. Now, how am I going to check to see if this is actually 5 by 5? I have to, let me make sure I bring that heart over just a little bit. There we go. Under view again is get length, and that's that little ruler right there. And I'm going to measure from the outer curve here to there. That's 4.95, good enough. Then this one from here down to here. See, and that's a little smaller. So I'll finish get length, and I will just go back to paint again and bring this up a little closer to the top and stretch it down. Okay. Now, one of the reasons I use paint and draw is I can save this as an SVG. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I have to go back over to draw. And I'm going to go over here to draw because that's good. So let's see what it looks like at draw. So there it is. All righty. Now, I could have moved it over. So let's go back to paint and center it. That little vertical and horizontal is the center. That should help. All right. I'm going to just bring it down a little bit because we need this seam placement line for a line marking. So over here to draw. And what I'm going to do is up here in the corner, right here, I'm trying to get myself out of the screen here. And I think I could minimize. Yeah, let me do that. All right. Um, I don't need the fill, so I'm going to turn the fill off. No fill. And then I'm going to change the color to black. And I am going to use my draw points. And I'll start here at the bottom. Now this is a square corner, so I'm going to hold Shift key down and click. And then I'm going to release because the circle points are curves. So I'm just going to curve around here. And when I get to the corner here, I'll just click there. And there. There. This is really not that hard. This is a good place to practice. And here. And here, one more, and left click, and there's my heart. Looks pretty good. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to go down here to the points. I want to see how even they are. Not too bad. You know, if you take the extra time at the beginning, then you don't have to do as much editing, which is why I try to place the points exactly where they belong. Looks good. Straighten that out a little bit. Okay. Now I'll go back up to draw and I'll put this straight line in. So I'll probably use blue. I'm going to try blue. See what it looks like. Okay. And then my line size 0.5. I think that'll work. So to do this, I'm going to go to draw. I am going to hold my shift key down right outside that heart like this. Click on it to get a straight line. And right there. And then right click to finish line. So there's my line. Okay, good to go. So now I'm just going to save that as my I guess I'll number it 2 heart because that's the only way I'm going to be sure that I don't overwrite my other one. Okay. And then I am going to export the picture. And that's when it turns it in to a graphic. So SVG, scalable vector graphic. Click on that. All righty, now I'm all done. So I will close this out. Everything's saved, good to go, and close it out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to insert from my device, because that's a computer, and find my heart. And I put it in class files. So now I got to find it. Maybe not. Maybe it's in just the pillow file. Or maybe it's in combined files. This is why I have to pay attention. And I'm not doing such a great job. Nope. All right. So the easiest way is just to do 2 heart. And there it is. 2 heart. Now, hopefully it's the right one. It says it's SVG. So here we go. See? Right one. Yay. Now I'm going to convert that to cut paths. And click OK. So there it is. There's my file. Alrighty. Now let's double check to see how big this is, because we're going to try and make it 5 by 5. So I'm going to click on the group and edit symbol. The paper with the pencil, that's edit. And then within that grouping is the resize or transform, they call it. So it's off just a little bit from top to bottom, but the width is 5. So that's close enough for me. All right. Now I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to see if I can ungroup this. Best way to check is to look in the film strip. And there it is. There's 2 files. So I don't want this one. I want this one. And I am going to change that to a pen. And you'll see the importance of this. And I'm going to change that marker to black. And then I am going to box select, just like that. And I'm going to go over here to the multiple select, because under that is my attach. And what that will do is that will tell the software to draw with the pen right across the heart at that point. So we're going to just put this right here and leave it. And you see I've got a 6 by 6 box right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then going down 6, because you have a piece of 6 by 6 freezer paper. Now, the rest of the pillow is quite simple, actually. So the first one is going to be 3 by 6. So it's just a repeat of what I did the first time. I'll click on here, go to shape, and go to number 3, the square, turn it into a rectangle by turning off the lock proportions. And I need 6 wide and 3 tall, just like that. All right. Now remember, anything that I had blue fabric for, I was changing it to blue on the screen. There's my blue. I think that's the right blue. Well, I'll find out in a bit. So then the other 2 strips are, for the bottom section is 4 by 6. The easiest way to do that is just do Control D or Command D if you have a Mac, and change it in the transform screen to 4 by 6. Oops, I didn't turn off the lock proportions. There we go. Now that one is the stripe fabric. So if you remember, I was using gray for the stripe fabric. There we go. All right, so those are the 2 pieces for that. Now, I probably should be able to fit the one down here. Maybe I'll go with that up here. Now, if I put the fabric horizontally, my stripes are going horizontal. If you look at the picture or my sample, you'll see that my stripes are vertical. So this time what I want to do is I want to rotate it. So if I go into the transform screen, I'm going to transform it by turning it 90 degrees. There we go. Now my stripes are going up and down. My navy blue doesn't matter because it's solid. So the next block I need is for the backing. So I'm going to Control D, and I want to have it go up and down. So this one is going to be 6.5 inch wide. So right here, 6.5. And it's actually going to be a width of 6. So we got everything in here really tight, but that's okay because I have 3 different colors. So when I cut it out, then I'll cut the stripes first. So I'm just going to go ahead and group these 2. Multi-select. Whoops, come on. There we go. I'm going to group them. And there they'll sit right there. And then I'm going to just slide this down just a bit. Now I will cut these 2 and then take this one off the mat. And then I'll cut this, and then I'll cut the freezer paper. Okay, so we're done with that. Easy. So we're going to go up to File, Save As, and we're going to save this as 2 heart. All righty. Now it's saved. So this basically is the file that I gave you, but I would really like you to attempt to try it and see what you get on your own. Anybody has any questions, just ask, because we're good to go. All righty. Bye-bye.